Here we go. You all know this class is being recorded. Not that that makes any difference to you because no one's saying anything other than me. There we go. So remember, this is the class where we do about as little as possible. We are getting the mind and the body ready for a deeper, more restful sleep. Okay, so we will be working with some support, and I want you to have either a couple of pillows and definitely some cushions. If you've got a yoga bolster, great. Mine's hiding behind me somewhere on the mat there. But essentially, pillows are great because they're a bit longer than the average couch cushion. And some kind of belt. That might be a dressing gown belt, that might be a trouser belt, that might just be a scarf that you've got nearby, just something that we can stretch the legs out a little bit. Okay, what I would also encourage is that you have some water, and then just a little note about the space, your environment that you've created for yourself. So dim the lights if you can. Create a really lovely environment. Maybe you've got a room scent that you like, or there's a candle that you like. Obviously light it safely and away from flammable objects. And maybe you've got music that you want to put on in the background that's your kind of real go-to. I love this, it really makes me relax, because of course no one else can hear it. It's in your space, and as long as you can hear my voice, that's what matters. All right, so you're getting yourself prepared with a little ritual everyone to really engage in the kind of the letting go of the class. Everyone good? I'm just watching people gathering things. So I'm going to take this, my water. I'm going to come onto my mat. As you can see, I've just got a big sweatshirt on and a pair of leggings. You don't need anything particular for this class. We're not going to be doing very much. Okay, so if you've got your pajamas on, that could work. If you've even got your teeth brushed and your pajamas on, you can go straight to bed. Or you could do this class in bed, actually. That would save you the whole bother of having to get up to go to bed. I'm trying to help, guys, and I'm helping out. All right. Now, for some of you, I know you're already lying down and you want to keep it that way, and I'm really happy for that. I'm going to come onto my mat and sit for a moment, because some people really benefit from that kind of transition between I'm in my day, I'm doing my thing, I'm thinking, I'm kind of, whatever it is that you have on your agenda right now. Some people benefit from having the transition just be a little bit slower. So I'm going to sit cross-legged on my mat. Now, you can see I've got a yoga block there. You don't need a block, but I would recommend you sit on something. Maybe it's a cushion or a pillow. All right? Come down to sitting. Oh, someone's come into the waiting room. I don't normally get up once I've sat down, but it's Juliet Edwards, and I should let her in. There we go. We like Juliet. All right. Not that we don't like any of you. But she's been coming for months. All right. Here we go. Juliet, you've just snuck in past my radar. I've sat down. Well done. Okay. So now, as you can see, I'm sitting on a cushion, and I've also put a couple of cushions underneath my knees, which just makes my legs and hips a little bit more comfortable. If your hips are really tight, your knees will be kind of quite elevated from the floor, so it might be that a little extra padding is useful. And I'm really fine if you want to lean against something like the side of the bed or the back of the couch or whatever it is that you've got behind you, okay? So let's just take a moment. I'm going to shrug my shoulders up, back, and down. And kind of a little wriggle around, see how they feel. Maybe I'll do that again. Up, back, and down. And I'm going to close my eyes now. And this is the moment that you switch from having all of your awareness outside of the body with what the eyes can see to your awareness inside. So as soon as we close our eyes and begin to slow down the breath a little bit, we sort of meet what's going on internally. And that's meeting what's going on in the mind as well as physically in the body. And whatever you find, I just want you to allow it. Allow it to be. Have no attachment to it particularly, being one way or the other. The mind might be busy, you might have worries, concerns, anxieties that are circling around. Just distance yourself a little from them for now. Maybe physically there's discomfort, sensations that you'd rather not have, but again, we're just going to allow them. We're not going to change anything massively right now, so let's not try. And as I sit here, or maybe you're lying there, I want you to just gently bring all of your focus to that point in the nose where you feel the air moving in and the air moving out. Notice the temperature. It's a little cooler on the way in, and it's a little warmer on the way out. And as you do that, begin to let some of the tension in the jaw go. Maybe let the mouth drop a little bit, maybe even stretch the mouth wide open. Just keep your eyes closed. You don't need to worry about looking funny. Just stretch the mouth wide open and then let it release. And then allow the jaw just to settle back in. Slow inhale, slow exhale. And as you connect in with your thoughts and feelings and sensations, I want you to notice what it is that you need from your practice tonight. What do you need from this class? Why have you shown up? It might be to calm a very busy mind, a mind that's maybe stuck a little bit in that fight-flight response. It's that stuckness that keeps the brain active, waking you up at 1 o'clock, maybe 3 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock in the morning. And we're working to slow the activity down. Maybe it's to help ease out something physically so that you're more comfortable when you get to sleep. Just softening the edges, loosening, undoing those knots. Maybe it's both of those things. Okay. What we're going to do now is gently drop our heads down so the gaze is down towards our lap. And then slowly open the eyes. And I'm lifting my head only so that I can lie down on my mat. So I'm putting a cushion under my head. I would encourage you to have something for the head as well that was comfortable, not too high, so the throat gets closed, but just supports the head. Make sure you're very comfortable lying on whatever you're lying on. So now I've got my belt near to me. I encourage you to have all of the stuff that you're going to work with pretty much within kind of hands grab reach. Okay. And I'm lying down on my back. I've got my legs bent and I'm going to let my knees rest against each other. So it makes it a little easier if you take the feet a little wider than hip width to do that. And then there's a natural lean in of the legs. And I'm just going to take my arms out wide to start with, inviting the weight of the arms to drop down to the floor. And I'm lying here now with my eyes closed, just letting the spine be totally supported by the floor. So being upright, we're working always just slightly against gravity. The muscles are always engaged. And so actually this lovely moment of surrendering the weight of the head, neck and shoulders down into the floor is quite a nice moment at the end of your day. Again, my jaws relaxed, my tongue is soft in the mouth, and my focus is on allowing the breath to move in through the nose and back out through the nose. Remember, at any point, if you don't feel comfortable in any of the positions that I might lead us into, just change, stop, come back to a position that you know works for you. And I'm just lying here, allowing the breath to move gently in and gently out. Okay. The first thing I want us to think about is the breath, not just how it's moving in and out through the nose, but the amount of time it takes us to breathe in and then breathe out. So I'd like you to breathe in for a count of 4 now. You can count that 4 however slow you like. I want you to take a little pause at the top of the breath. Maybe that's a pause for 2 or 3. And then breathe out for 4 or 5, maybe 6 if that feels okay. And take a little pause at the bottom of the breath. So we're gently filling the lungs, holding softly, gently emptying the lungs, making sure we've breathed as much out, and holding the lungs empty for a few counts. And just repeat that. Make any adjustments that feel right for you to the timing of your breath. For some of you, holding the breath in might not feel so good. For others, holding the breath out might be trickier. So it's absolutely fine. Play with it. And if at any point we'd like to just stop counting and breathe normally, do. There sometimes can be a point if you haven't quite got the breath pattern right where you just need to take a breath. Okay, so we're going to keep that slow pattern. You don't have to put the holds in, but in for maybe 3 or 4 and then out for 5 or 6. So just a little longer on the exhale. And now I'm going to bring a little bit of movement into my body. So I'm going to take my right knee and draw it in towards my chest. I'm going to draw the left leg and flatten it down towards the floor. My shoulders are relaxed and I've got my hands around that bent knee to help hug it in towards the chest. But again, really make sure that the knee that you're bending is happy. You're not forcing it into something too deep. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Okay. With just my right hand on that knee, I'm going to pull the knee out wide, opening out. Let's bring the knee back to center. We're going to change hands on the knee and take the knee across the body over into a very gentle twist. Keep that back arm down. Send the breath down into the abdomen. Exhale, bring the hip back down, bring the knee back. And then let's straighten that leg down onto the floor. And just let the leg really sink down. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Okay, let's do the left leg. So I'm going to bring that left knee in, give it a hug. Just notice the difference, if there is any, between the sides. We can have a tighter side, it's pretty regular. We are not symmetrical. Your knee might feel a little different, or maybe the lower back has a different thing going on for it this side. Most of us are not without niggles and aches and pains. Slow inhale, slow exhale. I'm going to take that bent knee out wide, just open it out. Just my left hand on the knee. Bring that knee back to center, change hands on the knee, and very gently tip into the twist, taking the knee across. Get the breath down into the abdomen, so feel the abdomen gently expand. And then breathe out as you roll back down, hips back down. And I'm straightening that leg down onto the floor. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Okay. I'm bending my legs now. Both of them bending again. And I'm going to cross my right thigh over my left thigh. So now for some of you, if the hips are very tight, you might just want to stay here in this very gentle stretch. It's a little bit of a pull coming across into the right buttock. If you want to take a little bit of a deeper stretch, lift those knees up towards you. And if you want to take a stronger stretch into the right hand side, then pull the ankles towards you. And you'll find that you'll feel that right buttock feeling a bit of a stretch. Now, we all hold tension there. That's the biggest muscle in the body. So don't be surprised if it feels a little tight or uncomfortable. Just check in that nowhere else has got tense as you've moved into this stretch. So check that the shoulders are relaxed, the jaw's soft. Okay, I'm going to take a slow, deep breath in. And as I exhale, I'm releasing back down. And I'm going to cross the legs over to the other side straight away. And again, just take a moment before you lift. Is this enough? Ask yourself, is it okay here? Or do I want to lift? If you want to lift, then draw the knees in. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Again, work to keep the muscles in the face, the jaw, the forehead, the tongue really relaxed. And then when you're ready, we're going to release out of this. And we're going to slide both legs down towards straight. And let them be heavy on the floor. So really surrendering down into the ground. Letting the circulation settle back into its regular flow. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Okay. I've got my legs just a little bit apart. I'm going to take my arms out wide again. I'm bending my right leg and putting the foot on the floor, on the mat. Okay. I'll take a slow breath in, and then as you exhale, push into that right foot and roll the body over onto the left-hand side just a little so that you feel the right shoulder come up. And it's the stretch across the front of the right shoulder into that right-hand side of the rib cage that I'm interested in here. So let's send the breath. Breathe into the abdomen and then allow the chest to also expand. So we're gently opening those intercostal muscles. Inhale. Exhale, release it down. So we don't want the right leg to get tired. I'm going to straighten it down. Just let the right arm and shoulder be heavy and soft. Slow inhale, slow exhale. And let's do exactly the same thing now on the left side. So I'm bending that left leg. Inhale. As you exhale, push into the foot and let's gently tip now over onto the right side. Feel that stretch across the front of the left shoulder, across the ribs. Send the breath there. My arms are still out wide. Inhale. And exhale gently. Roll it back down. And straighten that leg out. So whilst this work is very gentle, there's quite a lot going on. Don't underestimate it, especially when we work with the breath. We're just releasing the fascia. That's all the kind of connective tissue, the ligaments around your joints. And if we think about it, we hold tension on pretty much every cell in the body in one way or another. So this soft movement is perfect for easing out some of that tension. I'm going to do that same exercise again. So I'm bending my right leg, putting the foot on the mat, taking my breath in. As you exhale, push into the foot, roll onto the side, allow that right arm just to kind of drop out heavily. behind you. Inhale, open around the ribs and the shoulder. Exhale, slowly sink back down. Let's straighten the right leg down, let it be heavy, let it relax. And then let's bend the left leg, bringing that foot up. Inhale. As you exhale, push, roll over just enough. Allow that draw across the front of the left arm. Send the breath deep. And exhale, roll it back down. And straighten the leg down to the floor. Again, surrender the body, the limbs, the spine, the head, the shoulders, the back of the hips, everything down into the floor. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Okay, what I'm going to do now is reach for my belt, which for most of you I hope is not too far away. I've got my belt in my hand. I'm going to do a little bit of a stretch for the back of those legs. So I'm bending both of my legs. And I'm taking the belt and kind of hook the belt around the ball of that right foot as best you can. Don't worry, there's no marks lost if you have to kind of flip it around. And then let's stretch that leg up. Straighten it up as best you can. Now, it doesn't matter where the leg is straight. Don't get into trying to bring the leg back towards the face. You don't get extra marks for being able to put your foot behind your head. We are just inviting the back of the leg to open out, stretching through the hamstrings, stretching the Achilles, stretching the calf. And I'm drawing those toes down towards my face. I'm actually just going to squeeze the leg straight and then bend it a little bit. Squeeze it straight, bend it. Just a really soft bend, not much movement. Just to kind of move the blood around a little bit. So the muscles are having a little bit of a squeeze. And then let's release that leg down and straighten it out on the floor. And let's just wait for that moment where you feel the hot cold sensation of the circulation kind of returning to normal. Good. Okay. I'm going to bend my right leg. Draw that one back up. And let's take the belt and put it around the ball of the left foot and stretch that one out. Again, just observe anything that feels maybe a little different to this side. So I know for me, like my left side is always a little tighter. So I'm not going to push it to try and be the same as the other side. I'm just allowing it to be a little different. Draw those toes down towards the face. Just lengthen the calf gently. Let's slightly bend the leg and squeeze it to straight. A little bend and squeeze. Little bend and squeeze. Good. And then again, I'm going to bring it down. Let that leg come down. And we're sliding it down to the floor. Both legs this time come to being completely relaxed, heavy, slightly rolled out from each other on the mat. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Okay. Just noticing the movement of the breath. Just take a moment to take a slightly longer inhale, a longer exhale. Okay. I'm going to bend my legs now, but I'm going to work my shoulders a little bit. So I've got my belt in my hand, and depending on how long your belt is, or if you've got any metal bits hanging off it like I have a kind of closing loop. I'm going to make sure that's tucked up and out of the way so it doesn't knock me as I take my arms above my head. So I've got my hands about shoulder width apart. If you know your arms or your shoulders particularly are quite tight, take the hands a little bit wider. But we're going to gently draw the arms back above the head. Now, if you're on quite a wide pillow, you might find that that stops your arms from going back. If that's okay, fine. If you want to remove the pillow or the cushion from under the head, do, because that will give you a sense of the arms being free to go down towards the floor, which can feel really nice. Especially if you've spent a bit of time today looking at a screen. The shoulders, the neck, the chest all drop forwards when we're doing that. So this is quite a nice way of releasing out of it. And I'm aware that your shoulders might feel really tight, in which case we're just going to bend the arms to bring them back, slide the belt back down the front of the body, and take a rest. We are going to do that stretch again. So for those that want to stay in the stretch and breathe, you can. If you've brought your arms back and you want to come back, let's do second time through. So I'm just going to straighten the arms and draw them back above the head. Stay here and breathe if that feels good. If you need to bring them back early, bring them back. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Just tune in to what's right for you, your body, and how you are right now. And again, as soon as you get that call from the body to release, just bend the arms and draw the belt back down. If you want to do that one more time, let's do that. But I know some people will be done with the shoulder stretch, in which case, let your knees rest in and just wait for us to catch up with you. I'll do it one more time with those that want to join me. So arms up. Inhale as we come back. So I'm using the breath to help almost deepen the stretch a little bit. I'm expanding the ribs with the breath. Slow inhale, slow exhale. And then I'm going to bend my arms and bring the belt back. And I'll put the belt to the side of my body so it's not in the way. And I'm going to let my arms just rest out wide. Nice and heavy on the floor. Palms soft. Fingers lightly curled. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Okay. I'm going to bend my legs now and I'm rolling completely over onto my side. So I'm going to bring my back arm over with me, whichever way you're rolling. And just slowly and gently, you've been lying down a while, push yourself to a being upright position just for a moment. Now it's at this point that I'm going to encourage you to take a little drink of water. So do that. Keep the body hydrated. It allows the heart to work really well, nice and efficiently, without having to try too hard. And I'm going to bring my bolster in now. So you've either got your pillows or a bolster or something. So I've got my bolster, but I'm also going to put a pillow, a cushion for my head. so that my head is not at all lower than the height of my hips. And I'm going to hinge forward and just come into supported child's pose. Now, if supported child's pose is not your thing because your knees do not like it, then what I will encourage you to do is come into just like a recovery position, okay? So that you are on your side. It's so that we can breathe into the back ribs and allow them to feel like they're expanding. So if you're in recovery position on your side, kind of hug your pillows in and you'll feel a little opening across the back of the body. I'm going to come into my child's pose again after demoing that. I've got my head on one side and I'm allowing the breath to move into those lower back ribs and just creating some space there. Slow inhale, slow exhale. But actually visualize the movement. Kind of get in your mind's eye, the rib cage. And as you breathe in, really kind of see this little stretch open that occurs there. You never really think about the back of the body. But I want you to think about it for a moment. Because in this position, we've got really good access to the lungs, and we can use the full lung capacity here with our inhale. Okay, I'm going to turn my head the other way. Obviously, if you're lying on your side, you don't need to, unless you want to roll onto your other side, which might be really nice. And again, I'm just focusing on opening out, creating space. Maximizing my lung capacity, but very gently. Keeping the movement of the air in nice and slow. The movement of the air out nice and slow. Okay. From here, let's take a slow breath in. And as you exhale, bring the head to center and then slowly bring yourself to being upright. Not for long, because we are going to turn our back to the support. So if you've got your couple of pillows here, great. I've got my two cushions now and I'm going to use them under my knees. So I'm going to turn my back on this. Bring the soles of my feet together and let the knees drop out wide, but I'm supporting underneath those legs so the stretch doesn't feel too hard at all, okay? What I'm also going to do, and you can choose, it might be that you have a folded blanket or another cushion. I want my head just a little bit higher than my back. So I've got something under my head, but again, just play with it. See what feels right. If when you lie back on a couple of pillows, that feels good, great. If you want a little folded something under the head, just to elevate that, put that in place too. What I will encourage you to do in this position is just gently lengthen the bottom away from your support. So I am sitting on the floor. It's my back that's supported by the support. And and tuck the tailbone under and just lengthen it away and then let the hips come back down. So I'm taking care of the lower back. And again, I'm just going to invite my arms to be out to the side, and I can feel a little soft pull across the ribs, pulling the fronts of the shoulders down, which is great because it means I'm opening my chest. So one of the things we do when our body is under stress and tension and in response to that sympathetic overdrive is we kind of close up the chest, the shoulders come forwards. You know, we have that kind of animalistic protection of the main organs in the body and the jugular and the neck. Everything kind of closes up a little bit. We're encouraging the body to open out. Opening around the heart, opening around the lungs, stretching across the diaphragm a little bit. I'm lifting and opening around my neck, one of our most vulnerable areas. And just allowing the head to drop back. Slow inhale, slow exhale. If for you having the legs in this position isn't working, remember, change is your choice. Don't wait for me to bring you out of something if it doesn't feel right. But if you are here with me breathing, then just make sure that the breath is full. You're trying to get the breath down into the abdomen as well. And as you work to slow the breath, so you slow the mind, and when the mind is calm, we can switch into that rest repair mode because we've given everything the signal that it's safe to do so. So let's just focus on the sensation of feeling safe, comfortable, supported. There's nothing else that you need to be doing right now that is more important than this. Taking time for yourself is not an indulgence, it's not a gift, it's an essential. Okay, I'm gently going to bring one knee back and then the other. And I'm going to roll onto my side. So just whichever arm is your back arm, just bring it across the body, roll onto your side. And slowly, gently, come on up. And we're only up for a moment because we're going to come back down onto the mat. Now, I'm going to put my bolster, maybe your cushions, your pillows, just to the side because we're going to take the reclining twist. If you've been coming to this class for a while, you'll know quite a lot of the things that we do. We don't do a lot. We don't do a lot of different stuff. That's all part of the plan. So I'm lying on my side. I've got that cushion under my head and I've got my knee up on my bolster. So if you haven't got something firm like a bolster, make sure you folded the pillow so that the knee is a good height up off the floor. What I don't want is that bent leg too near the floor. Otherwise, when we draw the arm out, which we're going to, the twist becomes too deep for this to be relaxing. So make sure you've got a good height there. Now I'm going to stretch my lower arm right out in front of me. This top arm, same hand as bent leg, Just going to rest there for a moment while I take a breath in. And then as I exhale, I'm drawing the arm across the body and out wide. Now, if you can get the arm down to the floor, great. If it's kind of hovering in space and the shoulder feels tight, can you support that back arm, maybe with another cushion or something near to you, so it's not floating? But if it feels okay and you're happy with it, then stay. Now again, this is a position that needs a little bit of extra work to get the breath down into the abdomen. So I want you to concentrate on that. Relax your jaw, relax your forehead. Slow inhale, slow exhale. All right, I'm going to take another breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, bend your back arm and let's roll completely over onto our side. And just stay on your side. Take a full breath in. And sigh that breath out if that feels good. Return to normal breathing. All right, I'm going to roll onto my second side, my other side. The easiest thing to do is just take your support with you. So just roll over onto your other side. Create the space that you need. Remember, this top arm is coming out to the side behind you, so make sure you're not going to hit any furniture. Get yourself into place. And then when you're ready, slow breath in. And as you exhale, draw that arm out. I'm taking it out wide. And if this side is tighter than the other side, do you need to support the back arm? So you can either look up at the ceiling or you can turn to look along your back arm, whatever feels right for you. But the important thing is that you get that breath down into the abdomen. Jaw soft, tongue soft, forehead soft. Inhale. And now let's exhale, bend the back arm and roll completely over onto your side once more. Again, if the body calls for a lovely deep breath in, breath out, do so. We're just lying on our sides for a moment, enjoying the stillness. Okay. All that's left to do now is for you to choose which position you're going to do your final relaxation in. So it might be that lying on your side is how you want to stay. You might want to come onto your back and maybe bring that support underneath the back of your knees. That can feel really relaxing for the back. You might want to put a blanket or a throw on you just to make sure you're warm. And maybe you've got an eye bag or something if you know your eyes are very active. They're reflecting the activity of the mind, so it can be quite helpful to put a little something there. So I'm just taking a moment of stillness, and I'll scan through and check that everything as it is as I want it to be. Am I comfortable? Is there anything that needs adjusting? And what I'm going to do is turn off a little bit of lighting in here, just to bring the light down in my room so I'm not too bright in your space. And I want you to be still. Good. I see some people dimming their lighting. Good plan. So as you now lie still, you know that the mind is slower. You know that the body has been eased. And I want you to really enjoy the sensation of giving yourself this stillness, this opportunity to consciously rest, to prepare the mind and the body for a truly restful sleep. With every exhale, let yourself sink a little deeper into that state. You're surrendering, you're letting go, giving away any responsibility other than to this moment of stillness. We're soothing the mind and the body, allowing everything to prepare for a calmer, more restful sleep. You can feel the air gently moving in through the nose and softly moving back out through the nose. The body has surrendered, completely released down onto the floor or whatever it is that you're lying on. You are held. And I'm going to leave you all there, just enjoying that state for as long as feels right for you. When you get there, have a wonderful sleep. Thanks for coming. I'll see you next time. Good night all.